Lady, the problem isn't in my pants. Mex-Men.
If you noticed it, they put a billboard up on 59 where Telegraph is for Kroger. And they're like, hey, we're now selling Town Club soda and Bang energy drinks. And I got so mad that, like, well, first, who gives a fuck? Like, you care, like, who thought in their advertising department that, like, you know what people really care about that's going to drive business into our store? Town Club soda and Bang energy drinks. But also, the proximity of where that sign is. To get to Kroger, you pass Meijer, which already sells Town Club soda and Bang energy drinks. Plus, if you cared enough about those two things, you also already know Meijer sells both of those things. Just the idiocy of that whole thing. It blew my mind up for a little bit.
Why is that a thing where they're like, you know what people are missing in their lives? In these uncertain times, you know what people really need? Bang soda or Bang energy drinks.
And Town Club soda.
Yeah.
And we need to let the people know that we're here for them and we got it in stock.
Yeah, so they can still, in these uncertain times, give us money.
That's so weird. I've never seen one. Like a billboard that advertises a specific item.
Right?
Like to that extent.
And I don't even think they're associated.
No, I don't think they are.
I don't think the same people own Town Club soda and Bang energy drink.
Yeah, those are two different demographics too, so it's really weird.
Yeah, like, I don't know anybody who drinks Town Club soda.
Me neither.
Or Bang energy drinks, except
you. I do, but also I don't, because after they came out, a bunch of brands came out that are all basically the same stuff, and it's like...
What's different about them?
There's a bunch of fruity flavors and stuff.
Flavor variations are different, and price is different, and generally, like, the Bang ones are a bit more expensive, so I almost never buy them now. I thought they were great, like the concept. They're not artificially colored and stuff, and the flavors are on point.
Why do you need to artificially color something that's in a can? You can't even see it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Why?
Weird. You're gonna pour it in a cup?
A lot of what people do is weird. I guess, like, the bottles made sense, right? Because it's like, oh, look at the colors.
Yeah, you're looking through the bottle.
This one's magenta.
Welcome to this issue of X-Men. I'm Tony.
I'm Justin.
I'm Devin.
And today we're going to be going over X-Men No More Humans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking kill you.
I gotta tell you, though, that title threw me off. Sounds cooler than it is. Started strong.
Yep. A bit surprising that this isn't written by Bendis.
Yeah.
Really?
Because he's doing everything for the X-Men right now, and this is combining all his X-Men stuff.
Yeah, but this got done sort of as those were in the works. I think he, what's his face? Only said his name 3 times earlier.
Carey?
Carey. I'm trying to remember his first name. Mike. That guy.
Mike. Because you're boys.
Mikey. Now, with that title, the first time I read it, I thought it was going to be like an X-Men versus humans type story or something like that.
They just
So I was
murder all the
surprised.
humans.
Well, I figured it wouldn't actually be like they're murdering humans, but I thought it was going to be a conflict.
Well, finding out what
On those
happens.
scales.
Finding out what happens to the humans, though, is even more disappointing. But
They get blipped.
Whoa.
they're just pending. What do you mean pending? The humans are pending?
They literally get blipped.
Oh,
So,
that
the
I
MCU.
mean,
They do.
we're jumping ahead, but sort of, right? Those people got taken out of existence. These got put in a neighboring existence.
Yeah, but I mean, taking
were
it out of
pending.
existence, I'm assuming they were put into the Soul Stone. Because people who are dead, like, didn't die from that, did not come back.
I thought that was just people who died of natural causes.
No, because Vision got a stone ripped out of his head, and
I mean, that's pretty close to natural causes.
he's a robot. There's no such thing as natural causes.
I said pretty close.
So if you got like bad maintenance on your robot, is that natural causes?
It voids the warranty.
So X-Men.
Yeah. So
Mike Carey
yeah,
wrote it. Salvador LaRocca did the art. I
Yeah.
say that because the art was pretty good.
Yeah, the art's fantastic.
it is, but there's a bunch of weird stuff. Like I feel like he was being rushed because he can make mistakes, and those mistakes are weird.
Yeah, there's a
like when
couple
he
iffy
gave
things.
Wolverine the extra knuckle and finger on that cover of Uncanny X-Men for Rosenberg's run.
Secondary mutation.
And there's some stuff in here, and I'll bring them up as we get to them, where it's just like, whoa, weird.
Maybe he's like so good. Like you know how Christopher Nolan is an amazing director. Nobody ever questions him on shit.
Uh-huh.
So he purposely like puts things in his movies that he knows you're not going to question. He's like, oh, here's Batman fighting crime at 4 p.m. He goes into a tunnel and then it's midnight when he comes out. Mm-hmm. You're not going to notice because I'm Christopher Nolan. So maybe he's like, I could put another knuckle on here. Nobody's going to notice.
He just lost count.
That's extra work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You accidentally add an extra knuckle. Seems weird to me.
It's like him with drawing knuckles is like when you try to spell banana but you're not paying attention, so you keep on adding Nas.
Well, because to me, like, it's more toward the end of the book. There's more weird stuff than in the beginning.
Yeah, the time
Overall,
crunch.
really cool.
But it's a graphic novel, so you would think the release date is not rushed.
Maybe, but they also probably wanted to get it in. Like, because it
it
came
fits
out
in a
very...
Timeline-wise.
Yeah.
It fits in at a very specific point. That's why like this episode is coming out to fit in with those because it's very specific
Yeah.
where it does fit into.
Like, it's right before Wolverine's going to die, and it's right after they've already fought Xavier and Reyes again.
And Nightcrawler's already back, so
Yeah. So a lot of things have occurred.
Yep, and it's before Original Sin too.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
And it's just weird that, for sure, the Watcher's already, called Beast a piece of shit. And Beast is just acting like ain't nothing wrong with him or anything he's ever done.
Can you imagine if like as far as your understanding could go that like God comes to you? and
Yeah.
like, you're kind of an asshole.
Yeah, like your closest understanding of what God could be is like manifest. And
Just to tell you you're a dick.
I mean, you saw a miracle with his head alone. He went from a normal sized head to that
who
giant
could do
head.
that? Only God.
It's great. So anyway,
So we should get in the book.
Elliott Bay, Seattle.
And it's raining.
Yeah.
A lot.
All right. It starts with the Autolycus Corp and someone kind of breaking into there, which is super obviously Reyes. Like, it's really clandestine the first 4 panels, and there's like obviously that guy in the last panel of the page. And he breaks in because I don't even know why I said because. He just breaks in to break in, to be honest. Like, he wants to get caught, so like it's set up to think that, he's trying to sneak in, and he's like surprised.
They capture him and they put him because like they go to capture him and he's like, I'm not a man, I'm a little girl.
Yeah, he's put in a cell and he's like doing that shapeshifter shit where they just
In like a
turn into
Magneto jail.
things. Yeah,
But that one that looks like it's also designed for Cyclops,
right.
which
Which
I-
also poorly designed for Cyclops because it's got the air holes. And he's like, well, I can just shoot through the holes, man.
yeah, but like maybe he could ricochet against the sides if he's not careful. So
What does he care?
it's geometry.
It's not like it's gonna hurt him. Has there ever been a moment where someone's like ricocheted his blast back and it actually like hurt him?
Yes, he cut his own head off.
Oh, other than that,
Other than the big time,
he did
because
that
they're
himself,
very,
though.
they're very like sometimes it's like, oh, he could never hurt himself with his powers, and then sometimes like, oh, he can just chop his head off.
Well, no, there's exposition in that though, where he's like, "This is the proudest achievement I've ever made." Like that I figured out with my geometry powers where the thin membrane that like protects me from my own powers is weakest, so that I can like decapitate myself, and then he does it.
That-
Isn't that
It's
Ultimate
super
or something?
dark and sad. No, it's a alternate future timeline for Ghostbox. It's an astonishing tie-in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if Cyclops didn't decide Wolverine needed to get thrown through a plane at the right time, like the future would have been he kills himself via optic blast decapitation.
You'd think there's an easier way to do that.
Like a knife.
Yeah, but would he
Anything.
have the sense of fulfillment knowing he did something really hard?
True.
But the thing is also that, like, it's really, I don't know if you know this, but it's really hard to decapitate yourself. That, like, you die before you cut all the way through. So he would have, like, cut a good amount into his neck, died, and then just his head fell and just his whole body.
No, the optic blast is still carrying a little bit.
I would assume it would be like instant.
Yeah, that force is just like
You're going all the way through.
a bullet, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess his head would still.
He wanted to die like a boss. Like, look what I can do. I kill myself better than you can.
I mean, kind
An
of.
achievement.
I wonder if somebody would keep his head like Medusa, and, except you, like, instead of pulling a cloth and you turn to stone, they just, like, pull his eyes open and he
Well, it
shoots
doesn't work anymore. You have to like attach a crank to it,
you to his eyelids.
to the side of his head.
That's so stupid.
It's like one of those hose nozzles where you have to, like, turn it 5 times before it's actually on.
Oh,
Oh, I got to point out, he's scaling walls. Raises.
We don't know it's raised yet.
Yeah, we do.
we do. It's really obvious. While he's scaling that wall,
I
it's
know.
really obvious.
Because it's like, I don't know, I don't think we've seen him do that before, and Mystique doesn't do that, but Nightcrawler does.
Okay. So, like,
Wolverine does, but he stabs into the wall. And
anyway, there's a Dr. Gregory Sale,
Yep.
and
Sure it's
every
not
time
Sally?
Sally?
I think it's
S-A-L-E, and every time I read it, I thought of that, what's that
Imagine
one song?
Dragons.
Is that them, or?
I think so.
AO
They're all the
AOL
same
Nation
band.
or whatever? Yeah. Well, there's like, Sale!
Yeah.
Every time I
What are
read
you
it.
talking about?
Yeah. But anyway, he's like, what are you trying to achieve by breaking into my lab? And he's like, I was trying to get in. And
try to get it in.
I was trying to get in. And they're like, well, how'd that work out for you? It was like, seeing as you're like in our prison cell, that's super awesome. And meant for other people like Cyclops or whoever. And he's like, well, I'm in, aren't I? And also, future knowledge. Lightning storm, blackout, or hurricane, or
But it wouldn't be for Cyclops because there's holes in it.
I know. We said that.
That was the
okay.
whole thing.
We said that. That was a callback to just him referencing.
It's
red.
It looks like they tried to make it for everybody, and in that way, it serves purpose for nobody. Because it looks like also it could be for Magneto, but there's so much metal around.
It's just funny because like he disappears like right after the blackout, and like because right away, because they're high tech lab, they have everything back up and running. They're like, "Where is he?" And he's like, "I'm here, and I'm creepier than you thought I'd look."
Also, I feel like he could just turn himself into a mouse and crawl through those giant holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that image was really weird where he's like, here I am. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Is he jumping and spreading his arms out, like to pose for a picture or something? Like, I don't know what's happening.
He's pretending to be Jesus. A little bit.
Yeah, 'cause
He's in Creed.
in the sky with his arms spread out. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Can you take me high? Anyway, speaking of higher,
He's wearing a
plane
Creed.
is-
His shirt is straight up from Creed.
Yeah. Speaking of higher, a plane is crashing. Right at the.
Sweet transition.
I know. Right at the Jean Grey school, and everyone's like, "Oh no, it's crashing!" And Rachel's like, "I don't read anybody in there." And Wolverine's like, "Well, we got to do something about that." And Nightcrawler's like, "I know what to do. Teleport." And they do that. Like, there's a whole like mutants are cool. They do cool things. They got their powers going and whatnot, and they stop a plane from crashing. Like Storm does a cool thing where she blows a bunch of wind,
Yeah.
and then Iceman makes a slide, and that's how you stop a plane from crashing. And
Yep. And also, I learned that if you make a giant slippery slide and have a plane go down it at 10,000 feet, it will stop the second it hits the ground.
yeah. Oh, and everyone knows it won't fall off either side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue and Kubark should have just grabbed that thing from the sky.
It's like water slide rules.
So, like,
Go off the edge.
Like you won't go off the side. I think.
I was thinking that, like, even though it's an ice slide, it's made more like a plastic water slide where if there's not, like, water on it, it's like,
It's dry, and so
it
it's
just,
that-
like, burns your back and rips all the skin off.
So like they're just hearing this crazy screech as it goes down.
Because that plane stops the second it touches the ground.
Yeah, that makes sense if there's more friction to it. Well, it does break through. Like he makes some like weak ass ice barriers. Like you see that the plane's kind of breaking through it.
But it's still sliding on ice.
Well, yeah.
Just to say, that they didn't think about the science in this comic book very much.
Well, mutant powers, man. Plus, it's resolved in a really lazy way at the end.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're like, oh my god, a whole plane full of dead people, because Rachel's like, I don't read anyone's thoughts. And they're like, oh no, you don't understand. There are no people.
So they have to be dead.
Ghost plane. Anyway, so they're like, no way. No humans anywhere, and they go check out Cerebro. Or no, Cerebra. Because it's tapped backwards.
Is it bro
now.
at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
They say, stop it.
Anyway, Storm's like, I don't know, Beast. I don't see the problem. I'm looking, and in fact, all the mutants on here seem to be shining brighter on this, because it's projected as a hologram. And he's like, yeah, that's the point. We kind of ignore all the humans when we aren't regularly looking for mutants. And so they're like white noise. And now there's no white noise. So you see that there are, the mutants that are here, you see them more clearly. So there aren't any people. And they're like, well, we got to see this for real. And they go to Times Square, and it's just like wreckage everywhere. Yeah. And then there's a whole, like, what battle took place that we didn't know about? And they're like, oh, there's no battle at all. This is what happens if people just disappear and all the things that are in motion, all that velocity, it goes somewhere.
Just some things light on fire and cars crash.
Yeah, and helicopters fall out the sky.
It is like the snap. Same thing happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't say it wasn't.
No, it's just pointed out.
I was just saying, like, I think that the outcome of what happens to the people is different. Because I think the outcome of what happens to people in this is dumber.
Yeah, but I also think the outcome of what happened to people in the Avengers that they just gloss over and don't really talk about is that people were falling out of the sky and moving forward at like the hundreds of miles an hour, and just it was raining people one day. That had to have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Because they did not address that problem.
No.
because they can wish stuff, so they just wished them back good.
It's a Dragon Ball.
Yeah, they have the Infinity Stone to control all reality.
But they showed people appearing and like falling where people were currently. Because they showed, like in Spider-Man, they showed like the marching band just show up where they were, like where everybody was playing sports.
Yeah, you're not supposed to think that hard on it, man.
I'm just saying, a lot of people fell out
They
of
don't
here.
want you to think about that.
That's fine. Like, it was Hulk who did the snap. So if he was just thinking, like, oh, I want everybody to come back
On the ground.
and be safe.
Yeah, but
Well-
he was too busy worrying about Black Widow.
Can you imagine how awkward that would be, though? Like, if you were in the sky and suddenly you're on the ground, but, like, the velocity you would have had falling, but you're already on the ground, so you just, like, drop to the ground real fast.
Also, could you imagine that your wife got snapped away and 5 years later you're remarried with a new family
She
and your
shows
wife
up.
reappears?
You're, like, banging your new wife.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
whoops.
she got snapped out while you were having sex with her, and then you're having sex with your new wife in the same bed, and your wife gets snapped back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's a threesome.
Had to have happened.
You'd
She
think,
shows
but
back
she's
up and
real
it's just
mad. And you're like, hey, our contract was void. That was 5 years of separation. Anyway, so they're in Times Square and they're like, oh no, you don't think possibly it was Scott, right? Because he's been like threatening something crazy and we don't trust him. He's like a maniac or whatever. And then they show up and they're like, oh, is this a coincidence? You just coming to see a show, guy? Or are you just like checking out your handiwork? And he's like, what? We've already been on this. This is like our 13th major city.
Yeah.
We're checking out.
We're visiting all of them. There's no more people anymore. You know what that means? There's no more people. There's no fucking lines.
So I got to point out that Wolverine said about Cyclops when they were like saying, "Oh, it could be Scott," and Storm's like, "Cyclops is a great many things," and then Wolverine's like, "A killer is one of them."
Yeah.
So he kills one guy.
Yeah.
Like-
it doesn't get dropped.
Also, every time it's brought up between the two of them, like Scott's like, "You've killed way more many people than I have." And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't pretend I didn't." It's like,
You do.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. That's why you're on your high horse.
Yeah.
He literally said, and I'll get back up on my high horse and pretend I didn't. It's
And
like,
also,
You're on it as you speak right now.
and also, Scott has said, like, yeah, I killed Xavier. My bad.
it's like
That was verbatim.
you don't get on your high horse, said the headmaster of a mutant academy.
He'll be dead in a couple weeks anyway.
Oh man, but yeah, so they immediately they have beef because they're like, it's your fault. It's like
My brain was legitimately, like, thinking it's pronounced beast.
beast. Yeah, beast. No, they're obviously starting to argue and they're getting ready to fight now because obviously this is a huge thing. Wolverine is saying is Scott's fault, and he's like, you guys just woke up like 10 minutes ago. Like, we've been figured out this is a global emergency, and we're responding to it. And then a fucking truck falls in between them, and Magneto's like, sup?
I know that's just how he says hi.
It's so stupid. And he's like, oh, by the way, I brought my kids who are mutants right now. They won't be in a couple years. But, like, right now...
I think it's sooner than a couple years.
Yeah.
It's like, this is coming up. This is the time where everything kind of changed because they're going into...
Well, it's
Secret
after
Wars.
Secret War, right? That they become, like, not...
Yeah, and Secret Wars is like a couple months after this.
Okay, yeah. But Secret War took a while. Like, so almost a year, probably. Because Secret War was, like, the summer event.
Yeah, that it was delayed, and so it was like
It
half
was,
a year
yeah, yeah.
event. And there was... It sucks that the one event that they had that was, like, they had to stop every book, it just kept getting delayed.
Yeah. I mean, especially because those books, like, they looked dope. I mean, issue 4 would make you mad. Real mad. Made me real mad. But, you know.
We
What
were
happened in
expecting
issue 4?
more.
For real?
Spend a minute.
The whole Doom thing and Cyclops.
Phoenix
Oh,
Cyclops
yeah,
getting
yeah.
his neck broken because God Doom had to be, you know, far superior in strength. Anyway, there's kind of... They go back to the Jean Grey school, and there's, like, they're just processing what's going on, like, trying to figure out, all right, so all the people are missing, mutants aren't missing, we got to figure out who's at fault, like, in
Yeah, it turns
What do we
out
do?
it wasn't a good way to search for humans when we were only searching for mutants.
Yeah.
So we should probably try to do a, like, searching for humans thing.
Yeah, using your mutant tracker to track humans isn't working out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they, real quick, they blame Wanda, and Magneto's like, what makes you think? My daughter could ever, or would ever. And they're like, really?
Beast is even, like, Beast tries to, like, kind of flip sides on where he's usually at, but he still, like, retreats back, because he's like, hey, she did genocide. That's why she's not allowed to sit at the
this
table.
table. She has to sit outside on the bench with her brother that she maybe has sex with.
Definitely
I like
has
to think
sex
she's
with.
at like the children's table, like a much smaller table.
Well, I mean, Kid Gladiator is kind of like gardening or something right in front of them.
Magneto is using his control over magnetism to have a knife and fork cut through her food for her while he's in the meeting.
But yeah, it's like, oh, that's not how her power works. It's like, that's exactly how it worked before.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you don't understand. She only makes mutants disappear. It's literally just that. But anyway, Beast is like, look, I'm super smart. I figured out what we were supposed to do, and it's look for humans with Cerebro. I just figured out, make it do the opposite of what it normally does.
I had to call the younger version of me, and we had to have a Skype meeting to figure this out, but we thought it might be a good idea to just search for humans.
Yeah, and we got a ping, guys. One guy in
Santa
New Mexico.
Fe.
Yeah, and they're on the way, and right away they're like, "Oh, we can't read the thoughts of the person, so it must be psi shielded." So they're getting ready for this big fight. Oh, right before then, there's this great moment when they decide, "All right, we got no choice. We got to go check out who this person is." And Magneto's like, "Fine, but I get to come, right?" Because, like...
We said we got to represent all factions.
yeah.
So that who gets to be the X-Men today?
Yeah.
Your faction is 3 people.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Wolverine... Well, his faction, but I mean, the factions are... Like, the heads of them are just Wolverine, Scott, and Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Magneto's faction is him and his kids. They're a family, not a faction.
Yeah. Who don't matter, by the way. They're never brought up again in this book.
It's just for them to be like, was it you?
In fact, the next shot of Quicksilver is an evil alternate Quicksilver.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, yeah. He gets kicked in the face.
Yeah. By a lady who throws mountains.
Well, and even when they need a speedster, they go with a different... Yeah.
So anyway, they're on the way and they're like, all right, we're prepared for, like, they're prepared for this fight with somebody. And instead, what they find is just some dude tied to a post dying in the desert.
Kind of looks like Cyclops in that picture.
I guess, but LaRocca kind of just draws Cyclops as some white guy. And this guy is some white guy.
So Cyclops, though.
They're Ben
That's what I'm
Affleck.
saying, yeah.
But I like to point out that they gave Cyclops the command there. It's like, who's going to call it? And both Wolverine and Magneto gave it to Cyclops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Magneto's like, I'm content to defer to you in operational matters, Scott. And Wolverine's like, what he said, but with extra gritted teeth.
Pretend like I said it all mean like. Bub.
I mean, who could be mad all the time, you know?
Beast. If you look at this book, every single
he's catty
image
as fuck.
of Beast is angry.
Literally, he's a cat.
Not anymore. He's like an ape man.
But he was.
He was. Had a whole ball and string thing to, like, bring back his memories. It was stupid. So, yeah. They go up to the guy. He can't really speak, so they go to read his mind. Jean's, like, worried too, and Emma's like, let me use your power. I could be bitchy enough. I don't give a shit.
I'll just rip it out of his face holes.
Yeah. And she's like, you're going to hurt him. And she's like, he's already dying, so whatever. And she sees Reyes' face and his memory and stuff, so they get, like, bits and pieces of what had happened. And they see a machine is there, and they're like, well, that's got to be important for some reason. Let's blast it. And so Magneto and Cyclops blast it. Nothing's really happening. But for some reason, there's like a code, like some sort of error code that activates.
Oh, it's emitting frequencies that they felt this morning. Magneto felt the frequencies.
Oh,
That's why
okay,
they
yeah.
blast it.
Although that's the exact opposite scenario of in the second X-Men movie when they're talking about who they're going to send in to infiltrate Stryker. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, what are you going to do with the computer once you get there? Scratch it with your claws? But then this Magneto's like, fuck it up. Beat its ass.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, it's got so many satellites, man. Like, so many, like, dishes. Like, satellite dishes. I realize satellites aren't what's on it, but the dishes for satellites. So, you can't trust that.
Yeah. They're evil.
Yeah. They're spooky. It's
Anybody-
the man.
anybody
It's the
who's-
sign of the man and mind control. A satellite dish.
And anybody who's had it for TV knows that, and has been through a rainstorm, knows you can't trust those fuckers.
No. And that's exactly when you want to watch TV.
Yeah. When it's
Yeah,
raining.
can't go outside. Useless.
Right? Anyway, they're all like, they disappear. Presumably
Exactly.
from existence, yeah. And then cut to the Jean Grey school where they're trying to come up with, like, what are they going to do? Because you got, like, the students of Scott's team and all the students of the academy together. And they're like, Kid Gladiator is like, let's play a game. And he wants them to all fight duels to the death or some shit. And
To
they're
the
like,
first incapacitating injury.
Yeah.
But I love that. 'Cause they're like, baseball? And he's like, what's baseball? No, we're going to duel.
yeah. And he's like, fine, I guess baseball.
And I think that's Fabio, right? Who's immediately like, I'm out.
Yeah.
This time they didn't even get to start their game of baseball.
But that was hilarious because he's so down and Fabio's immediately just, nope.
Yeah.
Not for me.
And then Brew points out that, like, oh, it's not really possible to play baseball because left field is occupied by a portal from somewhere else. And they're like, what? And then there's a portal from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
And
people start coming through it. And they look real menacing.
It's the mutant, when you think about it, it's a mutant version of that X-Files episode where that guy finally has time to read and he breaks his glasses.
Oh, that's
It's like, finally they can play baseball, but there's a teleportation portal there.
yeah.
right in the middle. I like to point out, the statue of Jean, it's like super cheeks on those. It's like, why? It's a statue.
You know Wolverine was carving it. Round out the cheeks.
Which, by the way, makes what's coming up worse. But okay. I like what happens, though, when Kid Gladiator goes up to them, and they're like, you don't know what's behind that warp gate. It could be an army. And then he's like, one, whatever his race is.
Strontian or whatever.
Yeah. Versus an army is the definition of a fair fight. Like, that was pretty dope. It's a sick line to just drop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but also kind of fuck that kid. Because he's such an asshole the whole time.
I mean, but so's Choir, you know?
Yeah. He can back it up, though. He is badass. He, like, told everybody to get behind him, and he was going to fight all those guys coming through the gate.
Yeah, he would have. And Choir would have ran away after he said he was...
He probably would have watched, yeah.
Yeah, and then Rachel comes up and she's like, I'm in charge here, and what's your deal? And they're like, we want what's promised to us.
Sanctuary.
Like sandwiches. The blue guy with red hair said they're sandwiches. Beyond this game.
I was told you had Lunchables.
The ham kind.
I would call the Crunch Bar.
We only have turkey in our world.
The kind where you spread sauce on a cracker with cheese and you get a little Capri Sun.
It's one of those things whenever somebody has to draw like a bunch of mutants, they all have to look weird for some reason. Because when all these mutants are coming through the gates, like they all are weird.
Yeah, they're all and super futuristic and stuff. Yeah. But, I mean, that's how you make them seem even more alien, you know?
Yeah.
Well, though, that giant guy... who,
heavily armored.
Yeah, he takes off his helmet and it just looks like a regular dude's head.
Yeah. And then somewhere else entirely, literally, what is on the page?
Vaguely space.
Right? But of a different dimension. You find out that's where the X-Men were taken. And then conveniently they got just enough air. Like Jean Grey was able to be like, oh, we're being warped to somewhere without air. Let me grab as much oxygen as possible.
Well, have you seen that episode of Futurama where Fry's gonna go diving and he grabs a suitcase and starts packing air into it and closes it? That's what Jean Grey is doing.
Anyway, so Emma gets into everyone's mind and she explains the situation like, look, we're I don't know where, but that machine brought us here, so you guys need to figure out how to get us out of here and back home before we all die, because Jean's doing everything she can to contain the atmosphere. Yeah,
apparently she learned a lot really fast, because she caught all that oxygen and she's keeping the air pressure, apparently.
Yeah. For what reason? Because, like, how could she possibly know they were going to get pulled into space or whatever?
Yeah.
So that was weird. But... so there's the machine, and Beast is all like, oh, if only I had my tools, you know? And Magneto's like, well, it's metal, right? So, like...
yeah, I'm basically a screwdriver.
Yeah, so he takes it apart, and then Beast, like an asshole, is kind of just taking his time with it. Like, it's one thing if, like...
everybody be quiet, I'm working.
And nobody's talking, so... But plus he's like, instead of just saying, oh, turn a little bit to the right, Magneto, he's like... give me 30 degrees to my axis. Like, come on, dude. Quit being a douche.
Yeah, just being precise.
Just say, turn it right.
Yeah. Anyway, they figure it out. They science that shit. Smash it all back together.
Science bros.
Storm electrocutes it.
Yeah, because he's like, I don't got enough power. And Storm's like, lightning from space.
Yeah, weird that her power works in space. Alternate dimension space, but not in hell.
Well, that's because Magneto provided the ionization. That's what Beast told him to do.
I understand that for, like, for parts of it, but where is it, like, still coming from? It's weird. Is he, like, making, like, a little cloud?
Yeah, I guess.
Particles
okay, yeah, I guess.
Whatever particles
never mind, it tracks.
I assume the particles were to conduct the electricity once it comes out, but...
yeah, never mind. That made sense. We're shitting on it for no reason. For whatever reason, I was thinking first Magneto was trying to charge it himself, and then Storm just pulls lightning out of nowhere. But I see that it was like a teamwork thing of like, Magneto, make it so that there's something for her to use.
Yeah, because at first he didn't get it. He was like, why am I doing this? Oh, I get it. And then Storm did the lightning.
Yeah. Anyway, they're back in the desert and like, oh man, that guy who was dying, he's dead now.
Beast is like, I'm going to choke him to see if he's alive.
And Rachel then shows up as a giant head in the sky. And she's like...
Teletubby story.
I thought Teletubby story.
I was thinking more like Wizard of Oz or Superman.
Yeah.
My son.
And she's like, you guys need to come back to the school because it's kind of crazy. There be mutants. But, like, not the ones you remembered. Like, more. They're all wearing armor. It's really weird.
Not the
It's
person.
almost off. Yeah, it's almost off.
They're all wearing, like, their own universe skinned version of her. It's like Jim Carrey when he punches out that little dude and is wearing them.
What?
And Ace Ventura, you don't remember that? The Monopoly guy. He punches the Monopoly guy and then wears him around like a scarf.
I don't remember that at all. What was that, the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's been a really long time since I watched the second one.
You've seen the first one more?
Yeah, well, I saw it recently, actually, and I was like, oh my god, that's pretty transphobic, like, right at the end.
Yeah.
The, like, everybody throwing up. But then also, that trans chick, she got around. Because you find out that, like, you know, made out with a bunch of people.
Spoilers if you haven't seen the first Ace Ventura.
Yeah, Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Yeah.
Spoilers. I mean, it is the mystery the entire movie is predicated on. Anyway, there's more processing now. Like, they get back and they're like, oh, there's all these mutants, and they start making like a refugee camp for them. And they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they're realizing that there are more mutants coming on, like, through these gates all around the globe, and they're trying to figure out like who's responsible for all this. And then there's there's more like passive, if not outright, what's the word I'm looking for? Like insinuating or just straight up saying, like, accusations. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Just accusations of like, oh, you wanted this, or like, yeah, maybe you didn't do it, but like you're real happy with it, aren't you, Scott? Like Wolverine shitting on Scott for like clearly this is something you want, or like Magneto, like,
well, Magneto was a fan.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, this is great.
He was trying to disguise it as like, oh, I'm more worried about the new mutants showing up, but like he was pretty stoked that people were gone.
Yeah, there's a great moment where he said, where Beast says, over the last 2 years, he's talking about the guy, like they find out who that Dr. Sale is, and he's like, over the last 2 years, he filed more than 100 patents, some of them for technological innovations that I would personally call game-changing, because this explains the machine that was used. Like, it's game-changing that it was used to get rid of all the humans. And Magneto's like, the removal of Earth's human population is certainly that. Game-changing. And Storm's like, that's pretty cold-blooded, Magneto. He's like, I apologize. I'll put on a sadder face.
I like to imagine he did frown right after that.
Yeah.
Well, and also,
like,
he's not wrong.
Yeah, he was being truthful.
No, he's not wrong.
But yeah, because he did say, like, all these mutants, I want to take care of them, but he basically said, bringing the humans back are at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, oh, that is so sad that happened. So Beast has a handful of papers, because he's like, I had Nightcrawler like teleport to all the places that had newspapers and bring them to me to find out who this guy is, because the internet's down.
You know how long that would take just in like in one block?
I know, but that's kind of what he did. I mean, the newspaper archive in the library.
Archive, yeah.
Yeah. But like, it's kind of still what I said. And he's like, he's using this to talk about who Sale is.
Would the internet be down though, like the second people disappeared? Because I don't think there's like a guy
On a bike.
yeah, that's exactly it. Who's like keeping the internet running. I think it would still run off reserve power for a while.
Nope. You'd be wrong, man.
It's a guy on a bike, apparently. And we here just want to say thank you to that one guy on a bike. He's working his ass off.
Now, that's got to be a team of guys.
Yeah, probably.
If it was one guy, it'd be a mutant, because that's the only way they would have the stamina to never stop pedaling, and they wouldn't have been blipped.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
So it's got to be a team.
Maybe it was just a
think
guy with some Gatorade.
3 guys. Maybe one of them's a gal. Who knows?
Maybe all of them are gals.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Women could run the internet.
So anyway, Beast brings up the business that Sale ran, auto Autolycus. It's a weird name.
Autolycus.
Autolycus.
Yeah.
Is that phonetically how it's
I
pronounced?
think so, because I've seen other stuff where it was an auto in the front, and I was pronouncing it auto, but it was not like that.
Maybe it'd be like hyphenated if it were auto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like, so where's this base? And Beast is like, you know what? I don't know that yet. Let me finish reading these papers.
My
that
non-digital interface.
Yeah. And then
What
he's
a
like,
nerd.
It's Seattle. But also, you came to the group with information without reading all the papers first?
Also, I want to point out that you called Beast a nerd for using papers instead of digital, and you're using digital, Devin's using papers. Right?
Well, he couldn't just say, "Let me look through these newspapers." He had to try to sound smart. The non-digital interface. It's just a bunch of papers, Beast.
It's banter.
He's got it in a binder with his Pokemon cards.
Oh, wrong page.
They're like, Nightcrawler, you can teleport. Get there. Tell us what's going on. Which also, that's across country. I thought it's really hard for Nightcrawler to teleport that far. Like, isn't that supposed to be really difficult?
It is when it's not convenient for the story.
Okay.
Because sometimes he just does it all the time, and then sometimes they're like, no, he can't. It's 2 miles, and he has to see it.
Because, like, magic would have been better.
Yeah, magic can do that. Nightcrawler normally has to take multiple ports to get to a further place.
Yeah. That would have been taking, like, all day for him to get there. And then he would have been really tired. Which I guess is what happened, because it explains why he gets owned so fucking fast.
Yeah, he just get beat down.
Because he gets there and he's like, oh,
that's why they had to send him, because magic would have whooped all their ass.
Yeah. And that would have been the end of the book. There would have been no more humans because they never would have had the chance to find out that they were pending. So, anyway, Nightcrawler's like, oh, it's all empty inside of here. It looks like they stripped all the equipment from the warehouse. And a figure's like, nope, I'm Reyes. And this is my evil brotherhood of extra dimensions.
And Mother likes me best.
Yeah, he does say that to him.
What a creep.
Like Nightcrawler cares.
I like the blob with
The mustache?
well, in the cheetah print,
Yeah.
It's like Blob and Craven mixed in one.
but not even like Craven, more like a Victoria's Secret model.
So anyway, he's like, well, now that we got Nightcrawler as a fucking hostage, we'll get whatever we want from, these fucks. And the X-Men are like, well, his signal just went out. We can't hear his thoughts anymore. And the last thing he saw was an empty room, so that must not be true. And it must have been an illusion, so we got to go check it out now. And there's like a line that's like, Cyclops is saying, I can't not do anything. I sent Nightcrawler in there. I got to make sure we get him back. And Storm's like, fucking duh. We all want to get him back. Like, this is kind of a dick moment for Scott, where he's like, I care about Nightcrawler. And they're like, yeah, we'd all want to do that.
To be fair, he can't die right now.
Well, he wasn't being a dick. It was Storm didn't explain herself. She was like, with no knowledge, that could turn out bad. Like trying to say we shouldn't go in there. And he was saying, well, we got to. I'm not about to leave him there. So he wasn't really being a dick. He was needed more info.
Yeah, a little bit, though. Oh, there's people being a dick all around in this. Is like, Scott's kind of like the world's on his shoulders type deal, and it's like, hey man, you're in a team of superheroes who's got the same name as another team of superheroes. Like, you all want to do good stuff, and like, and the same for the other side. It's like, you're all blaming him for like destroying the world, and he didn't fuck Mystique.
Or did he?
Like, this
Young
whole
Scott.
time, like, really, Wolverine's to blame for all of this.
That's why he's so mad, wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Rose.
It's weird that your
Well, that and that it's his son.
it's weird that your exact power set transfers down to your children, because like that's definitely going to lead to mutant breeding farms and trying to create like the ultimate mutant.
Well, that's why Sinister wants Scott and Jean.
To make the
Or
ultimate
did.
mutant, yeah.
Yeah, well, and Reyes and Charles Xavier's kid are gonna make a baby together, and then it's gonna be able to transform and have claws and also read minds.
I guess. Anyway, they go to that building, and you see that Nightcrawler is like chained to a wall with like explosives strapped to him, because that's not overkill. And Reyes is like, all right, now I'm gonna go talk to them and like showboat and make them know that I'm smarter than them, and they have me to thank for all the gems of the world, mainly being like no more humans and whatnot. And Wolverine is an asshole because he just like punches him after he says like, "Hey, I got your friend hostage and he's gonna be killed."
Do you think he has a claws out there? Because that's kind of his trademark.
He doesn't love Rays.
I don't think he.
But he might be like, my boy, welcome to the family.
He should have had the claws out as payback because he got stabbed exactly like that by Rays.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the claws out. It looked like because there was no blood, or I think there'd be more pain.
Yeah, but they also never show blood when he has his claws out.
No blood from Rays.
That's what I'm saying. When Ray's, anytime in this, when Ray's pushes his claws out, you don't see blood.
They do.
I mean, blood
There's-
on Rays' stomach for getting stabbed.
Later when they go fight, they
Can he
specifically
heal?
do that.
I'd assume he can heal.
Yeah, but not that fast.
He's got the hand things,
He's got
the claws. He's got to have a pretty good healing factor.
Yeah, I'd assume so, but we'd at least see some blood, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so Rays is like, you have me to thank for this, and it's going to be a mutant utopia, and you guys didn't help. But you can choose to do the right thing and leave me the fuck alone. And they're like, fuck that. We're going to beat you up and take our friend. And he's like, it's not just me. I got all these guys from different dimensions that you sort of recognize. And they're stronger than those ones that were on this one, I think.
Yeah, here's Pyro, but his head's on fire.
Yeah, he's like Iron Man looking-ish. And here's a guy with a receding hairline who later is going to straight up have male pattern baldness.
Was it Exodus they had on there too? Or an alternate version of Exodus? I don't know. He laid the smackdown on a couple people fairly easy.
Is that who that is, or is that Eunice, the Untouchable? Because they bring that up.
Oh, yeah, they did bring up.
'Cause I've been wondering who that was. He wasn't ever directly referenced, but at one point, North Star's like, Wolverine, we need your help with Eunice. We can't touch him.
Get Bobby.
And he's like, psych, I ain't Wolverine, I'm Mastermind. And he just punched him in the face. But that happens later.
Because they have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver on their team, too. Because
Yeah.
when he said, oh, yeah, we're going to overpower you, I'm like, psych. But, I mean, Scarlet Witch is really the defining factor on there. Unless it's Exodus.
Well, and somebody will find out later, too.
I guess.
Oh, yeah, true. Who they brought in. Well, yeah, because without Scarlet Witch, who do they really have that's going to stop them?
Well, we know who they have.
Did you not see
yeah.
Blob's leopard print? Or cheetah print? The confidence he has with wearing that's the ultimate power.
Fred Flintsbob? Fred Flintsbob?
Blobstone.
Ah.
He's really a Strontian. His power comes from his confidence. And since he's wearing that leopard print, you know he's damn well confident.
So anyway,
He's got a thong on underneath that.
the X-Men decide, fuck this, we're going to fight you after all. We don't like the cut of any of your jibs. And
He said the thing.
Judging
Magneto's
Gibbs over
like,
here.
correction. I happen to fancy the cut of their jib. Just a little bit.
Oh, the ultimatum, though.
The ultimatum.
Cyclops ultimatum. Because he said, you guys leave or I'm going to blow up Nightcrawler and everything in here. And Cyclops says, well, here's our ultimatum. There's an asteroid above you and we're going to drop it on you.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, the asteroid M.
That's back in the... What? That's back in the atmosphere? Or not atmosphere, but...
Yeah, you didn't see that part. He says that they got Magneto's holding up the asteroid above them in case they attack them. Then Magneto drops and kills everybody.
Oh. I
So it's pretty
spaced
cool.
on it.
He was like, yeah, so we negotiate with loaded guns then.
That's right.
Is that line from Community? Like, I'm giving you an ultimatum. That means I'm getting the whole tomato. And you're getting another.
Ultimatum. Alright. Anyway, Magneto's like, are you really surprised? The dude straight up is bringing like all these mutants from their terrible Earths here so that we can build a civilization. I'm going to be on the side that is looking out for its own people. And they're like, oh, well, you backstabbing piece of shit, whatever. And Cyclops realizes, well, we got nothing. And I guess this makes a lot of sense that Magneto traded sides, so they don't have that asteroid anymore on their side.
I think they also said, though, that somebody else was carrying it with Magneto.
Psylocke.
Yeah, Psylocke is carrying it with
Because she lifts
Magneto.
mountains.
But still, if Magneto was to fight her on it,
they like rip it in half, and then
Well, he did-
they each got their own.
he did-
smaller.
She beat him in Uncanny X-Force, right? So,
What?
or Uncanny X-Men. Psylocke beat Magneto.
When did that happen?
Volume 4.
I mean, is that the one where they're like, it's Magneto's X-Men?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have to reread all that. I kind of got, like, you know, tuckered out with the X-Men. I was like, it was a sad period for X-Men books during that time. Extraordinary was the other option to read, and I gave up on that after issue 1.
In volume 2 of All New.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah, I thought you loved Extraordinary X-Men.
Fuck you. Anyway, Scott's like, we gotta leave. There's nothing else we could do here. And everyone else is like sort of arguing with him, but then decides to go with it, except for Wolverine, because he's all like, we're getting Nightcrawler. And then Magneto backs them, because Ray's is all like, what makes you think you got any power to make demands? And Magneto points out, like, look, they're leaving. There's no reason for a hostage. You could let them go. And then there's a moment that happens where Wolverine is, like, he's taking the bomb vest off of Nightcrawler. And then I think he puts it on his shoulder, though, which, like, yeah, because that's a great... Oh, no, never mind. He has Nightcrawler on his shoulder, but he's handing Mystique the bombs. And Mystique's like, just so you know, I wouldn't have condoned to us killing him. I mean, I also wouldn't have stopped it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done anything to stop it.
But I would have been like, that was
Bad.
really naughty, Ray.
So I wouldn't have consented, so she would have disagreed.
Yeah.
Or not, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she would not allowed it, but I don't
No,
think she's really calling the shots.
The way
here.
she says that, she was like, I wouldn't have been, like, happy about it.
Yeah, like that's how it feels. Is like she's just like, I wouldn't have agreed.
Yeah,
but
because
she's
she
not
didn't
calling the
say,
shots.
like, I wouldn't have let this happen.
Yeah.
The wording is like, yeah, I wouldn't have agreed with it.
I'd have felt bad.
Yeah. And not even that. It's just, I wouldn't have been for it. Not that she'd ever feel bad about
Even
it.
though it wouldn't be up for a vote, I would have voted no.
In my head.
Yeah.
I would have, like, been like, man, and I think that's enough.
Also, crazy. We're gonna have a kid, right?
What are you doing after this? Do you want to go make this guy you're fighting right now?
And so clearly, Back to the Future rules, or either Back to the Future rules don't apply, and like, because Wolverine's like, well, I'm never touching you in the future, and Ray should disappear now,
I'm going to act like you're Unis.
or
They probably already did it.
or they do apply, and Wolverine still fucks her.
Well, because honestly, he can't control whether or not he fucks Mystique in the future.
Well, because she could just decide to be whoever.
Yeah, she's just going to be like, I'm Jean Grey. And he's going to be like, oh, here's my wiener.
I mean, you're supposed to be dead.
When he pulls his dick out of his pants, it definitely goes snicked. And then she's like, I'm actually Mystique. Give me that baby.
I like your interpretation of that
Makes
scene. It's good. Seems pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like she transforms right before he's about to come.
As he's coming.
Yeah, and she does that thing where like, you know when a girl wraps her legs around your waist and you're like, no. You're like, stop. It's like she does that.
Okay.
But they probably did it in the past, to be honest.
Well, yeah, definitely.
They're both like,
So she's currently carrying the baby?
she probably already had the baby. They're both hundreds of years old.
That doesn't make sense.
She keeps throwing babies down rivers. She doesn't know which baby she's had.
No, because remember she specifically keeps Ray's, and Ray's is like, yeah, it's
She
stupid,
raises
right?
them.
She raises Ray's. That's why she named him that. But remember later she questions him, like disbelieving a little bit.
That he's hers.
Kinda. Yeah. So anyway, the X-Men, they go back to the school, and they're like trying to figure out, well, what are they gonna do now? And Scott's like, well, for right now, we don't do anything, because we still gotta assess what's going on. Like, we got thousands of people showing up. I mean, here alone, but like all over the world still. And it's more like Wolverine tells him, like, just when I think you can't get any lower, you want to do nothing.
You
like,
want to take your time, bub? Figure out a smart solution, that's what you want to do? I can't condone that.
Yeah, it makes no sense because he wants it all solved, but he also wants to just go there and kill Rays.
Yeah.
I think he's having conflicting opinions here.
And he's just like,
desires.
so Reyes just gets away with mass murder, and we do nothing. And Scott's like, did I fucking say that? Just going crazy with accusations?
Yeah, Wolverine's acting like if he just goes there and kills Reyes, it'll bring everybody back.
And then Beast's like, it's not about Reyes, and as much as it pains me to admit this, Scott is not wrong.
There is a lot of Cyclops was right in this book.
Yeah,
Just
oh, it's
said it
literally,
too.
like, he says Cyclops is not wrong.
Yeah, because earlier in the book too, Storm says just this once Cyclops is right.
Which is a
Yeah.
lie. Just this once.
Yeah, it's like every time.
Every time. All the time.
90% of the time, it's 100% of the time.
Yeah, because even if you want to say he was wrong that one time, it's still just that once he was wrong.
And I mean, even Storm is sort of on this side that, like, there's other things for them to handle right now. And Wolverine's like, are you serious? You two? I thought you were cool now. You had the mohawk.
Yeah, because they're banging too at this point.
They are. Yeah. And then Iceman shows up and he's like, guys, there's a fight. Someone stole someone's sandwich. We got to go off there.
Someone's Lunchables got stolen.
And then there's a line.
A guy
where,
was saving the Crunch Bar for the end,
And Beast-
somebody thought it meant he didn't want
And
it.
Beast with his bipolar ass, after just saying the right thing to do right now is wait and handle what's going on, is like, "Oh, I never thought I'd see this. The day the X-Men just lose without even a fight.
He's such a
He
bitch.
said the X-Men going down losing without even making a fight of it. And I'm like, who wrote this?
And
Did
then-
somebody else write this panel? Because
It was Mike.
Doesn't make sense.
It was Mike.
We've been over this.
And then Wolverine's like, right now, we're not fighters, Hank. We're peacekeepers. And now he's taking the opposite stance. Like,
It makes zero
did he
sense.
forget who said what literally a page before?
Because they're not losing. They're just waiting. They're making a plan. How does that mean they're losing? Like, Beast acted like they lost. They
That-
lost the fight.
That aside, right? Just go back to the page previous. Beast is the one who's like, we gotta wait, and Wolverine's the one who's like, but we gotta do something. So it makes sense for Wolverine to go, I can't believe we're just gonna lose without even putting up a fight, and Beast to go, no, dummy, we're peacekeeping right now. We're figuring it out, like, and he just flips them
Anybody saying
within
that
a
makes
page.
no sense because they didn't lose. They're making a plan. Since when is making a plan? There was no fight. Nobody lost anything.
A bunch of Mitt Romneys just flip flopping back and forth.
I guess. Way to make it political. And Frieza!
You big Romney fan?
No.
Oh yeah, we got the Frieza here.
And then Frieza is straight up in that panel.
Frieza.
He's like, I'm gonna beat you, devil
I
face
feel
guy.
bad for whoever took his
And
Lunchable.
Cyclops just like, whoa, chill. This ain't Namek. Can't blow up this earth.
You can't shoot any of these guys in the tit.
Anyway, cut to an RV park apparently. And
I
that's
believe
what-
it's a commune.
well, raises, right? Because he's like portraying himself as this sort of benevolent guy who's brought salvation to all these mutants across
It's-
different dimensions.
It's essentially that like little patch of land that the Manson family lived on,
Yeah, kinda.
and he's Manson. He's even got Manson hair.
A little bit, yeah. Even his claws are short.
Hey, you guys want to kill all humans?
Anyway, this is when Mystique's like, so I'm just saying, like, are you my kid? And he's like, I would have thought that, like, me having the same color, wardrobe, and skin as you, and
Racist.
powers with Wolverine's claws would have been really obvious that you and Wolverine have a baby. And she's like, yeah, but, like, if you are a shapeshifter, then, like, it makes the fact that you have claws pointless, don't it? And he's like,
Skull belt.
shit.
It's like, check out the
Skull
belt. Obviously.
Right? I think she's trying to, like, doubt that she's gonna fuck Wolverine. She's just like, no, it's not him. Like,
She's dodging
fine,
child support.
you're my son, but who's your dad?
Who's your daddy? Well, it's not like it's a step down from Azazel.
I mean, for, like, if you're a villain, right, then maybe she thinks that, like, Azazel's cool.
No, because I think Azazel was like
He
a
smells like-
rapist.
you know what? He does smell like farts.
Yeah.
So, that's weird.
And he's always hanging out with Billy the Kid and Caligula.
Weirder
And
now
Chris Benoit.
that Nightcrawler's sister would bang him when he also smelled like farts.
I like to think that dissipates.
No, it's just always...
I don't think it lingers all the time.
I don't know, man. When you smoke, you always got the smell of cigarettes on your clothes.
He just
Yeah,
walks into
it's
a
on
room
his
and
uniform.
Everybody smells it. Probably
His
sticks
uniform
in his fur.
smells like fart.
Plus, he's like covered in fur, so it's
Yeah.
like,
It holds it.
yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, his sister and he were already creepy. It just made her even more creepy. Is all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But that tail, though.
the things it can do.
What it do? What that tail do? Butt stuff. That's the hint. Anyway, Mystique brings up to him, so like a little heavy-handed though, huh? Just getting rid of all humans in the world, and he's like, so about that, something you kind of gotta understand. They're not really dead. I know, crazy, right? I mean, they're not here, but they're somewhere. I don't understand it. I'm not an engineer.
Really? He was like, about that, I have no idea what I'm doing, actually.
And then it's like revealed that Tempest of Scott's X-Men team, who controls time and whatnot.
Ava Bell.
Ava Bell, yeah.
Why send her, though? Like, she's not really a sneaky one.
Right?
Yeah.
But just because...
Maybe they wanted her to get caught.
Because maybe they don't know her well.
If she dies, she dies.
Well, because I feel like they sent a bunch of people, because it kind of implied with like send out spies that there was more than one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that she just happened to be the one because she's so fucking obvious. Everybody else was trying to be incognito, and she's like, I'm just gonna sit on the fence and see if they say something.
Yeah. And then he becomes Mr. Fantastic real quick. He sees her, he stretches his arm way out, grabs her, then he's all like, oh, so you're spying, huh? Which, like, maybe she was just a chick on a rooftop or whatever.
He's a big
don't know.
scorpion. He's like, get over here.
Yeah.
Mystique doesn't do that stuff enough. I wish she did.
And Mystique has a dagger, just appears behind her back, and she's like, I'm
Always.
sorry, but you can't just leave now because we got to kill you because you heard too much. And she's like, I don't even know what I heard. You said you're not an engineer. Which, like, I didn't think you were, man. Chill. So, but she throws them in a time bubble, and then Blob shows up, and he's all like, I'm wearing a loincloth and a mustache.
He's wearing the mustache.
She put it out in the morning.
Like, you figure me out. Because I don't even know.
I will say I 100% guarantee that his mom brushed his hair this morning. Because he's got that, like, aren't you a handsome young man? Like,
He's got the Jason Todd thing going on. Where it's just, like, his hair's parted right in the middle, and it has, like, that weird, like,
I think-
crescent shape.
I don't think that Jason Todd's mom would have brushed his hair though. If there's anything I know about his mom is she's more into crowbars.
Jason Todd? No, that's Joker.
Yeah, and he hits her with a crowbar.
What? I'm lost. His mom?
Yeah.
Oh, he kills Jason Todd's mom?
Both of them.
I know he killed Jason Todd with a crowbar. I didn't know he killed his mom with
He lured him in with his mom.
dark. I mean, it was already dark, but shit.
He beat a toddler.
Darker. Anyway, of all the people you'd think would save Ava Bell, it is Northstar. Because this guy, Mike, finds every reason to use Northstar in this book. Which apparently are so many...
Every reason? I thought it was
That
just
was the one time he showed up.
No, he shows up later.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, see.
Anyway.
But she's like, I'm gonna kiss you once we get back, even though you obviously don't consent to it.
Because he's gay. She's like, I know you're gay, but I'm going to kiss you anyway. Because you saved my life from a big, fat, creepy guy with a loincloth and a mustache.
Which, that mustache curls up, I gotta say.
It does. It's dapper.
He looks like a circus.
Hipster. Yeah, he's a circus strongman.
Yeah.
He's the kind of man who is concerned about what his jib looks like.
But she didn't really need Northstar's help. She could have just time bubbled Blob.
She didn't think of it, I guess. I don't know.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, well,
She's
she's
a
a rookie. She's a student. Anyway, so she explained herself already, and Scott's like, that wasn't good enough. Tell us again from the top. What happened? And she's like, oh, so they're like pending or whatever. He doesn't know what's happened with the people, so they're probably alive, I think. I didn't get a lot of information because he Mr. Fantastic'd me, and I ran away.
And then Beast turns into a medical doctor.
Well, hasn't he always been kind of?
He saved his own life earlier, so.
He's whatever doctor they need him to be.
Yeah. And even Wolverine's like, pending? What does that mean?
Well, it's like in Endgame when they're like, Hulk, make a time travel machine. And he's like, this is not what I do at all.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just science something different than my science.
So they
Beast
realize
can, apparently, though.
they realize they need more information than what they have, and that it's probably not working out with Reyes. Yeah, I almost called him
Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah. And like right after they saved her, they pulled all their other spies too, which probably wasn't necessary. Like not right away. If they were good spies, like why pull all of them just because one of your spies get busted?
Well, I think they got the information that they
But
needed.
they clearly didn't, because she's like, "This is all I know," and they're like, "That's it? That's all you know?" So,
Well,
they're
Scott's like, we'll go play God. And then we'll just
yeah,
talk to that
that's
guy.
what I was getting to. Yeah, so they're like, "What? How else are we supposed to get this information?" And he's like, "We asked Sale," and they're like, "What? He's dead." And
Sale.
and he's like, "Doesn't have to be." And then he goes to talk to Triage. He's like, "Hey man, remember how you brought me back to life?" And he's like, "I'm pretty sure you weren't dead yet." He's like, "Yeah, that aside." Remember how you did that? And I mean, also he brought himself back to life by this point too.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Hey, maybe you do that again on this other dead guy."
Who seemed to have decomposed very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
Even though they put him in a freezer.
Like, what's it been, a day? This guy looks like he's been dead for weeks.
Well, he was out in the desert for like a half hour, so he dried out. And
Pretty quick.
he died of dehydration.
Yes.
You know, that's actually a really good point.
They
Should just watered him with a hose a little bit.
they just spray him down after he died.
Here's what I don't get.
They probably did after he
Beast
So
is so mad. Like, so mad. Like, what happened to morals? What happened to us having, you know, a moral compass and without being compromising to those beliefs? And it's like, dude, you broke time and space, and your version of God called you a dick.
it's pretty obvious
But-
that Beast just doesn't like any idea that's not his.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's being super hypocritical because, I mean, obviously it could
He doesn't
be,
even believe in God or afterlife or any of that stuff, even though he's seen it.
and he still
He
got
was
pulled back.
just in hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're bringing a guy back from the dead, which can be seen as like, yeah, you're playing God. That might be messed up because maybe that guy wants to be dead. But you just ripped 5 people out of their time to come to your time. They probably didn't want to do that either, so.
Under false pretense of genocide.
Yeah. And you could have destroyed all of space and time and reality by doing so. But, you know.
Well, he lucked out in that there's already another time event that's going on that really broke that. And so his just sort of didn't help, but didn't officially break it.
I still blame Beast.
Yeah.
He like made the snowball and then somebody else rolled it down a
It's like
hill.
if your mom had like a really nice vase and someone like broke it, but then you took like a piece of it and then you broke that piece, maybe. I don't know, I'm just saying, like a thing. Like, so the other person's in trouble,
Like
but
a
you didn't
thing.
make it any. You didn't make it any
That was
better.
your big point. Like a thing, you know?
Anyway, they bring Sale back to life, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm a zombie." But he doesn't even seem to mind. It's just sort of like, I guess everyone else is like, "Oh fuck, he's a zombie. It worked," and he's like, "What's your 3 wishes?" I guess I don't know.
Brains.
He just starts eating everybody.
Yeah, because he's talking in like one-word sentences.
Yeah, he's real slow about things.
And Storm put it in perspective really good for Beast, which obviously he still didn't agree with. But just that this is like the fate of all of humanity is on this one thing.
Yeah, but she's also like tempering his ego too, of just like, look, just this one time, buddy. Scott's right. Just this one time, because there's another time that's happening. And by the way, I think the count's 3 of their own admissions. Yeah, and
At
she's
least
saying
2, I
just
know,
one,
because
yeah.
it's that and Beast.
No, but she says he's right earlier. So anyway, they get Sale to explain
Just
how
this
his
one
machine
time
works.
besides the time I said earlier.
So they get Sale to explain how his machine works, and they're like, all right, so I guess we got part of a plan. And Wolverine's like, oh, does anyone not hear like the good part of the plan, though? Is killing my son? Because, I love to do that, kill my children.
Yeah, he just keeps going on about that. Every time somebody brings up anything, he's like, but I get to kill Reyes, right?
They just like stab him in his face.
Or stomach, preferably.
I'm the only guy who gets to have claws.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Laura gets to have them because she is me, but also
She beat my ass
with a
twice,
vagina.
so...
Yeah.
And her claws
I
are
tried to kill her.
Her claws are different. She's got 2 of them, and then one that comes out of the foot.
She's got foot stuff going on. It's a whole different gimmick. Little does he know, she's gonna straight up take his name. It's gonna get replaced.
Also, foot stuff going on is the title of his sex tape.
Anyway, it cuts back to that commune, and Magneto's talking to Mystique, and she's like, "It's crazy, right? What my son's accomplished, stuff that you could never do." And he's like, "I mean, I guess, but like also he did it super dumb, right? Like there's so many ways he could have used these machines that didn't involve eradicating the human race."
Well, he didn't even say that. It was provoking war with the X-Men.
Well, yeah, because that's what provoked war with the X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to be so dramatic about it, and that he has a death wish because he's just egging on a fight. And she's like, no, he's not that dumb, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure he's my kid, right? I just don't know about the sex with Wolverine thing. And Magneto's like, well, he's got claws. Anyway, their conversation's cut short because the Brotherhood's all like, the X-Men, they're coming, so we gotta be all prepared to fight them now.
I like that Toad is one of the alternate dimension dudes that he grabbed. Like, we're gonna need Toad. Go to this reality.
You know what's weird? Is that Reyes has the X boots. It's not usually, like, X-Men villains who adorn, like, X shit.
Well, because I would assume because he was teaming up with Xavier, so...
Yeah, but it was revealed even in their future
Yeah.
that they're not really the X-Men. And it wasn't like he was pretending to be an X-Men. He was pretending to be Shadowcat. So he already, like, so for his own costume design to be that of, like, an X-Man's costume design, it's weird.
His whole costume design is weird.
Well, yeah. What's
Why
that?
is he trying to look like Mystique so much?
What's that dick bib for?
Yeah, I was about to say, who crosses a loincloth with leggings, a skull belt, and a button-up jacket?
Oh, it's a zipper.
A zipper.
Even
Yeah,
worse.
that's a white leather jacket.
Oh, I liked Sale. I don't know if he did it yet. When they bring Sale back, they give him the old New Mutants jacket. Not New Mutants, New X-Men jacket. From the
Yeah, that
Origin
gets
run.
because they bring him here and you see him in it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. At least he's not naked.
At least he's not naked. And then, so they're like, hey, we're going to kill you now and get those machines because that's how we're bringing the humans back. And he's like, nope, I'm using these machines for my own nefarious purposes. And good luck getting through me. I got the best brotherhood of all the dimensions. And it turns out Reyes doesn't read comic books because no version of the Brotherhood beats the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because they're the bad guys. It's just that simple.
I mean, the only one that does, it just got erased before it even happened. Because the Days of Future Past Brotherhood does beat the X-Men, but then they changed that right away.
Yeah. And then Wolverine pops claws, all snicked like with blood and what have you. And Reyes pops his claws, all snicked like with, blood and whatnot. And it's real tense. And then Avalanche is like, I'm a matter for the first time in a long time.
You watch your mouth about Avalanche.
Oh, he's got the old suit on too.
Avalanche is like, I'm gonna matter for the first
you
time ever.
Well, right before then too, Cannonball says one line. That's the only thing he's done in this whole book, and that's the only thing he will do.
Yeah.
And Reyes knows his name though.
Also, I will point out, Avalanche was in the Brotherhood from Days of Future Past, so he was in the good Brotherhood.
Well, he does kind of the most damage, at least initially. Like, he starts the fight, and they're all kind of fucked. They're all like, oh, no. And the Cannonball's like, wait, I can fly. So he's fine. And then they all start fighting, and it's fights. It's badass X-Men on Brotherhood fights. And it's crazy that Reyes is the leader of the Brotherhood. You got Magneto there and Mystique there, and it's like they're both just following that guy.
It is kind of weird that it's like whoever's idea it was automatically just gets the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Unis. I mean, it looks like they can't touch him, but it also looks like he flung him away. Rogue and Cannonball.
Well, they can't touch him. And by the way, he does it. He goes from just having a receding hairline to straight up male pattern baldness with the two panels. Like all his hair disappears on top. Almost like he's got like that samurai cut where they just got the ponytail way in the back and it's like they purposely shave all the top of their head.
Oh, that's making me think though of like if he gets really into the 90s, he could be Hammer the Untouchable.
Yeah, it's almost like a mullet but with nothing on top.
Yeah. Oh, and right before this too, when there's the banter between like the Brotherhood's all standing on one side and the X-Man's on the other side, and Reyes is like, "Fine, we're just gonna fight then," and Mystique's like, "Oh shit, you are crazy. Magneto was right. He was just telling me you're crazy, and now you're crazy. Ah, fuck.
You're not my son."
It's still your son.
But they still fight together and stuff.
Then he turns into Goro.
Yeah, so I'm saying I wish writers would do more stuff like that with Mystique. In her solo book, she was doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because it would be kind of cool to see like they do like a test of strength, and then like an arm just pops out of her stomach or something, punches them in the chin.
And who is that? That there's a lady who like kicks Cyclops in the back, but then also teleports him way up in the air. Who is that?
No idea.
Like an anti-magic? I mean, that'd be cool. There's like an evil magic.
Dark magic?
No sword, though, so.
Dark magic? Dude, that's a cool name. Also weird considering that magic's power is kind of dark magic. I mean, it's like hell is her power.
Yeah, and she's all like goth and shit.
Yeah. So maybe they do it like counter. She's all like preppy and angelic, but evil.
It's like a Barbie magic.
Anyway, Nightcrawler, he goes, teleports, saves Scott, brings him down. Scott shoots Reyes in the back, and then Wolverine's like, "Fuck you. We're not cool still. I was supposed to kill my son, you dick." And then he's not. He looks like he's about to sit on him, too.
Also, Wolverine goes after Blob and just kind of shoves his crotch in his face. And Blob's like, "No!"
He's like, "Ew." The smell again of my mustache, and I won't be able to get it out.
Snicked, motherfucker.
It's pretty cool. A lot of cool fight scenes. And then, like, cut to Magic is teleporting both young and older Beast with their zombie pal and Triage into where, like, the machine's components are. And she's like, "All right, figure this shit out. I'm going to leave, get back to the fight, because that's what I want to do." And Triage is like, "What if we got to leave in a hurry?" And she's like, "Try not to. Peace."
Like that. There was nowhere near enough magic in this book, though.
No,
She was
not
just
enough.
magic bus, and that's it.
She was just busting people around.
Is there ever enough magic in any book?
No. But we really needed it here.
Yeah.
Probably because she's overpowered.
Kinda, but still.
I mean, we could have got some Scarlet Witch action in there against magic.
Right?
Because we didn't really see her fight either.
Just like witch on witch. Just
Hell
like,
yeah.
take my spells. No, you take my spells, plus I got a sword. Little does she know, everyone will soon have a sword.
Fucking sword.
Tens of swords.
That's my thing.
And and this is when it shows that they gave Sale the X-Men jacket. And they're like, "All right, well, I guess we figure out how this works or we fail and die or whatever."
They just never, like, get rid of their old clothes because they always seem to have it around.
Yeah, because that is just like a new X-Men jacket.
Yeah, and it's happened before, like when Cyclops came back and had to wear his old uniform. Mm-hmm. But you'd think, like, you go to Salvation Army and you see, like, an old X-Men jacket because they just donated it. Didn't fit anymore. Beast got fat.
Because somewhere there's got to be like Magic's like generic X-Men costume.
Well, because that was the thing earlier too, right? Like when the students of the Jean Grey School were with the Uncanny X-Men students, And the Uncanny X-Men students, like, that is their uniform. But the Jean Grey school, they all have their own clothes. And in fact, if they do wear a uniform, it's usually drawn as, like, a regular school uniform. So for them to be in the X suits, that was actually out of the norm for them. But they were in it anyway for the book.
Yeah. Better make some new ones, man. Unstable molecules over here.
You know what?
Maybe
Mike
they're just embarrassed to wear them in front of people. Now there's no people, so
I think Mike just likes the look.
Yeah.
we appreciate you, Mike.
I mean, I guess. Anyway, this is that moment with Psylocke where I don't know who this is.
Lorelei.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
She was with Magneto briefly, like working with him.
okay. I was gonna say, like, I see her name as Lorelei. I just didn't know, like, from what arc or relevance she had with the X-Men.
She looks like a mix between Jean Grey and that Medusa.
Yeah, kind of, but with like magic powers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know it's like a mind control thing, but she looks just like a magic character. Like she would be in like a Captain Britain book or something.
Yeah, or like not necessarily Doctor Strange, but like one of the like spin-off stuff they do from Doctor Strange.
Yeah, or even like a Thor character.
Yeah, because that headpiece.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Luke Cage wears a headpiece just like that.
just like it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but combined with like that weird toga-ish tunic thing she's wearing, like she just seems like a character of like that.
yeah, she seems like a Hercules character.
Yeah. Anyway, she's all like, "I heard you're the mountain lady. Want to move some mountains for me and like let me brain control you?"
I'm gonna climb you.
And she stops her and she's like, "Jean, did you make it so that I couldn't hear her?" And she's like, "Yeah." And Solak's like, "Don't do that again without asking me." She's like, "I did. You couldn't hear me."
But I like how she shut her down so quick, just threw her like head first into a wall.
Yeah.
And then kicks Quicksilver in the face.
Yeah. Which, by the way, there is a panel a few pages before this where Quicksilver punches Northstar in the face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's some garbage.
Like kind of in the background. So, I guess there was one more use for Quicksilver. And Northstar. But Northstar comes back up anyway.
He's not that fast. Not fast enough to punch Northstar.
Really?
Really?
Is that conclusive? Like they've just decided?
Yeah, Northstar's way faster than Quicksilver.
Oh,
Quicksilver's not really that fast. He gets his ass beat by fucking Barry Allen.
I thought you were gonna say Usain Bolt.
No, I think he'd at least beat him. But in that Quasar run where the Flash comes to the Marvel Universe, he whoops everybody's ass.
Oh yeah, Flash is way faster than Quicksilver.
When he's
Yeah.
buried alien.
And then Mystique shoots the shit out of Iceman. Just rude.
In the face.
Yeah. I mean, after, like, through the chest. And he's already, like, ripped in half. She's like,
He'll grow a
fuck
new
your
one.
face. Yeah. Yeah, and then she's like, "Raze, we gotta, like, just win, man." And he's like, "Yeah, fine, we'll win, but, like, only to be done with it." Like, he doesn't want to admit that they're actually getting their asses kicked. And, he calls in Mastermind. And this is when that thing happens with, Northstar, where he goes to Wolverine. He's like, "You gotta help us. Can't touch Eunice. So, we need you, because, I guess, claws?" And he's like, "Psych, Mastermind," punches him right in the face. And he calls up to the sky and he's like, "You gotta save me, darling." And it turns out, fucking Dark Phoenix.
Yep, because everything the X-Men do has to lead back to the damn Dark Phoenix.
Yep. It's kind of annoying. And everyone is like horrified except for young Jean. She's like, "Oh, that's pretty." More damning evidence that, like, Jean just really attracted to fire. To that
I thought
fucking
you were going to say
bird.
herself. Because
And herself, yeah.
She wouldn't be the first young X-Men who wanted to bang their future self.
Now, remember, I brought up, like, there's some weird things LaRocca ended up doing toward the end of the book. And when she comes down to Wolverine, she's got the thickest chest. And I mean, she bench presses all the weight. You see what I'm talking about?
You are not lying.
No.
That's like Rob Liefeld pecs right there.
That is nearly Rob Liefeld pecs.
Towards the end of this book, Mystique is just, like, ripped the whole time.
Yeah. I think he was just, like, drawing fucking fast or something. Like, because there are a bunch of weird little things. And yeah, Dark Phoenix is just fucking everybody up now. Storm tries to like reason with her and says that like I feel so sorry for you, and she's like, I don't even know you. That's my purse. And she fries her. And Magneto goes to Reyes and he's like, hey man, where'd you get her? And he's like, some dimension. And he's like, why did you get her? You can't control her. And he's like, I don't need a controller. I could just let her reign and do whatever she wants. And he's like, well, then you're a fool because, well, no, he says, you're a fool. Only a fool, like, puts his plan, like, bets his plan on a piece that he can't control, like, of his plan. And he's like, well, I don't want a controller. I just wanted to burn everything. He's like, well, then you're something worse than a fool.
Yeah, you're an full-on idiot.
Yeah. He's like, I'm done with this. I'm not on your guys' side now.
He's like, hey, dude, I know it sounds cool and want to destroy the world, but you're here too. So, like, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah. And then Jean kind of gets, young Jean kind of gets all sassy with her older self. And she's like, oh, so this is the big, scary Phoenix everyone's been telling me about. I'm shaking in my boots. Not really. Psych. JK. all those things. And,
LOL.
And Dark Phoenix is like, who are you? Why are you wearing my face? He's like, oh, I'm you. And you can read my thoughts. I know you can. You know that I'm me. I know that you're me.
Which that's another thing. Tired of seeing that storyline pop up it's you, Jean. It's me.
You.
We've covering since like the Bendis stuff. This is like the third or fourth time we've had to cover this exact plot.
Yeah. And then she's like, just die. I can't stand a younger me. And Jean's like, hold on. I gotta drop a deuce. Because that is a deep squat. That is a deep squat he drew. And she's like, oh, you're not dead. And he's like, nope. That blast should have killed you. And he's like, nah, maybe you're not strong enough to kill me, or maybe that thing didn't want to kill me. And you see that the Phoenix is all like, oh, maybe I should be inside of her. She's younger. Because it's a creep?
Yeah, it's Xavier.
Oh, that's why Xavier's never been the Phoenix. He was the Phoenix the whole time. He committed suicide during AVX. So, older Jean, Dark Phoenix Jean, starts getting mad because the Phoenix is like looking at younger Jean like, that might be a better pick.
How you doing?
Like, kind of like I guess if a married woman saw her husband hit on somebody right in front of her, and they're just like, hey, no. And he didn't even care. It's kind of what's going on with the Phoenix. And Reyes gets all mad because he's like, Mastermind, how come the Phoenix isn't killing everybody? Tell the Phoenix to kill her. And Mastermind's like, yeah, Phoenix, kill this Jean and kill everyone else. Don't you love me? And the Phoenix is just like, fuck you. She just burns him up. And Jean's not even remotely paying attention. Like, for a second, she's just like, not now. And then he doesn't listen. And the Phoenix itself decides, done with you.
Jason Wingard, man. Poor old Jason Wingard.
I don't feel bad for him at all.
No, not at all. He punched Northstar. Everyone's like, oh no, both Jeans are now being engulfed by the Phoenix. And
so that the mental picture in my head is just like somebody lit pants on fire.
And I don't know. I guess there's a weird thing of like, why are we like? I don't know if I like the dialogue here, or if I hate it. I don't know. It's a mix. It's like
close, huh?
it is. It's like it's either really clever or it's like I hate everything about this, or it's like it's clever. I don't know, man. It's like younger Gene was like, "Why are we two?" And then the older one's like, "Are we two? I count 3." Or 1, it's all the same.
Ha ha ha!
Because it's like the clever part, I guess.
Stupid Phoenix. Ha ha ha!
That's why it's dumb, right? And the other thing is like, well, they're all Jean and Phoenix, and it's like saying Genix and the Phoenix are Genix. It's like saying Jean and the Phoenix are one and the same. Basically, they're Genix.
Exactly.
So stupid.
But also, yeah, you have literally 3 different entities right there. So I don't know if it's genius or if it's trash. That one's up in the air for me.
I liked it. I wouldn't say genius, but I wouldn't say trash either.
You like everything.
No, that's not true. I don't like the fact that the Phoenix is here solving this.
Yeah, it's too many. Because
Yeah.
third time, like in just the Bendis run, that they're like, hey, Jean, there's an older version of you with powers.
That's evil, and the younger version of you has to overcome the evil future version of
I'm
yourself.
so tired of anything to do with the Phoenix.
Yeah, especially when it's used like this. Like we have this whole book, and then here's Phoenix at the end to solve the problem.
Well, okay, so one of the things they find out when they talk to Dr. Sale, when he's resurrected, is that, just like you guys said before, that must have happened after the snap, that the people, when they get blinked back, they're all coming back exactly where they were. So whatever velocity they were going through the air, or if they were underwater for whatever reason, they're dying.
Yeah.
They're like, what happened to mutants after what's its face? Shit, how am I spacing on this?
Listen,
Raise.
Oh no. That Black Widow. That
Scarlet
Scarlet Witch does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
M-Day?
after M-Day, exactly. When all the mutants came back, and then suddenly a bunch of them died because they're in the air because they were flying and all that stuff.
yeah, like there was a one dude who was sitting in a volcano and burned up.
Except they had the balls then to let the consequences play out.
Blob suffocated in his own flappy skin.
Iceman got really, really hot. He's like, guys, I'm not ice anymore. It's crazy, I'm sweating. But anyway, basically that same thing is about to happen to everybody on Earth once they do this thing with the machine, and they're trying to figure out a loophole around it, and they don't really have one.
They missed a big loophole though.
And
because
Phoenix is the loophole.
Well, it seems like they're trying to actually address that situation, but what they're not addressing is the fact that when the X-Men got blipped into space, Jean had to hold the oxygen in there for them to live. All these humans are just in space with no oxygen.
I know. It makes no sense.
Dead. They're already dead.
They're just completely dismissing the fact that...
No, I thought that both the genes were providing all the oxygen for everybody.
No. What we're saying is...
Oh,
what happened to the X-Men several times, well, earlier, and what will happen later, where they get blipped, is what happened to all the humans. And both times it's referenced that they have limited oxygen. But it's conveniently forgotten in the case of the humans, who have been blipped for presumably days or weeks now. And there's no way that 7 billion humans didn't breathe up all the little bit of air they brought with them when they got blipped.
See, I was thinking that humans were more put into a storage center, like as data, and the X-Men are sent to a different physical plane.
No, they were all sent to a different physical plane.
He had no idea what he was doing to
Yeah.
be sending people different places. He just pressed a couple buttons and...
Yeah, the machine just shifts people out. They just use terminology that is like, digital interface.
Maybe the Phoenix brought him back because there could be a point of like Phoenix brings back everybody and
they're all just
bodies.
7 billion corpses back on the planet.
all suffocated.
Yeah, and now you have to go get shovels.
It's like, damn, we should have just left them there. Now we got to clean this mess
Magneto's like, you're welcome. This is what you wanted?
up. You clean up this mess. I'm leaving.
Yeah. So, but currently, Dark Phoenix is all like, why are you even bothering with these guys? They're all imperfect. We should burn it all because of course she is, because of course it is, because of fucking course it's the Phoenix. It wants to burn everything all the time.
Yep.
It's like it's made of fire or something. And, Beast is like, all right, everything's set. I just need you, zombie, to help me out.
So dumb.
The only thing I can think of to get all these mutants back to their home realms is to just throw us all in stasis. And then I need you, this zombie guy, who was killed by the hands of a mutant, to do us a solid.
And he was also like an obviously shady dude. Because they mentioned earlier that he only invented one thing and then stole his inventions from other dimensions.
Bars.
I was just thinking inventions on dimensions. Yeah, so that zombie doesn't give a shit what Beast wants because he's like, no one owns me.
Nobody tells me what to do. He's so salty.
He is. He's like, I don't even like this jacket. And all the mutants are transported into that same space that they were in before. And younger Beast is like, hey, Phoenix, we need oxygen. You gotta do that for us. And Phoenix is just like, all right, I guess. I mean, I was about to kill you all, but I guess I'll let you breathe right now.
It's no fun if you guys just suffocate.
And Beast, and again, this is younger Beast, so the one that's not as much of a dick, because he hasn't gotten there yet, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, look, isn't it going to be boring that there's no sentient life on the Earth? Like, isn't your whole thing life? Like, there's the destruction, but you can't destroy something that's not alive, and it feel nearly as good, right? I'm guessing.
And also, aren't you supposed to, like, care about the mutant race surviving? Because you just did the whole thing to, like, bring us back, and now you're trying to murder all of us?
Yeah. And even brings up that, like, sure, there's no one on Earth except for a decaying zombie, because he doesn't know that it blew up its own factory. He thinks it's just standing there decaying further. He's like, there's nothing alive except for the animals and the plants, and yeah, nature will take back over, and maybe in 1 billion years you'll get another sentient life form, but who's to say the sun doesn't burn out in that time, or, you know, you want a snack. So
bring us back so you can kill us.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, you know you like to destroy everything, but you can't destroy what's not there. So bring us back first.
The Phoenix is like somebody who's playing with a light switch, just flipping it back and forth. But it's, instead of the lights, it's the human life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's already
And
set
mutant
to
life.
off. So
And a weird thing happens in one of these pages during this conversation, that the left butt cheek of Jean just deflates in both the younger and older version of herself. And it's another one of the weird LaRocca decisions. Maybe it's meant to show that leg is... Well, no, because I thought it was that leg supposed to be further forward, but
You can see the knee bend.
Dark Phoenix Jean has that leg forward, and young Jean has that leg backward, but both cheeks deflated from the same panel at the same time with different leg motions.
the Dark Phoenix Jean's cheeks look more right.
Dark cheetix.
More acceptable, but the one on the right, that's all kinds of messed up.
I'm just saying, if there were ever candidates for that show botched, it's this
Right there.
person's.
Because the Dark Phoenix, like, her left leg looks like it is up. So that's why her cheek's higher than the other. And young
Yeah.
Jean, her leg's supposed to be
It-
back, but her cheek's like falling down her leg. Like,
Yeah, it's not making sense.
Their butt cheeks are like that old dude's knee from Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, and also, okay, so just below on that page, there's a panel with Reyes, and he's like, now, when they're distracted, we'll go for it. Like he's gonna kill him. It's like, dude, you're floating in space.
he looks like he's about to say cheeks. If you look, he's looking at Beast's ass, and he's got his claws popped like he's about to stab into each one. He's like, now we go for there.
Yeah. Jeez. And he's cut off by Magneto. He's like, you'll do nothing or you'll answer to me or whatever.
Only I clap the cheeks.
And Phoenix is all like, all right, we've decided that we'll do everything you just asked for, but, you know, because we want to. Not
With
'cause you
extra
asked.
gritted teeth.
Yeah, exactly that. And they bring back all the humans, and they bring them, like, down to the Earth. Like, they literally spell out all the loopholes that would kill people coming back. We're undoing those things, and all the people are right. And how they reconcile what happened to them is up to them, because we don't give a shit. They should just be happy that they're alive. Trying to make sense of it doesn't matter, so don't try to make sense of it. Reader, don't try to make sense of it.
You thinking about it? Don't think about it.
And Magneto wants the refugees to stay there, though.
And then And then Cyclops is like, wait, but what about us? You didn't mention us. And they're like, we said all sentient beings, Cyclops. Are you saying you're brain dead? What is your problem? And Magneto's like, no, it's not good enough. You give those mutants a home. You don't send them back to their worlds to die. You give them a planet here. Do a whole nother thing. Don't just like make another planet for you to destroy later if you want.
You know, and that does make her more like Shenron. What you guys said earlier with the 3 wishes.
Yeah.
So now in Frieza.
Yeah, Frieza's in it.
So they got to make a new Namek, and Frieza's gonna be there. So good job.
He is. They're just creating a planet for Frieza to destroy later.
Yeah.
And then Reyes is all like, "That's not cool. This is fucked up, man. I didn't get what I wanted." And Dark Phoenix is like, "You know what? Timeout. You're going on a timeout." And just takes Reyes. And hopefully that's the last time we ever see him.
Yeah,
it is the last time in general. Like, we haven't seen him since, but like...
I would assume at the very least he would go to that, to Namek, because he is one of those people from alternate dimensions who don't fit in.
Well, he's from the future, so he's from that.
Yeah, but an alternate future.
Yeah.
No, it's presumably their future at this
Different
point.
branch.
Yeah, but it's like the 3rd time he's come back, right? You'd say that about the first one is now a different branch because they changed events, and then the second one came back and they changed events. This is the 3rd one, so presumably it is their most direct future, you know, unless this counts as an event shift.
Yeah, but I would assume as soon as he goes back, things change. I mean, especially this time because he interacts with his parents.
You know,
and he's like, "Hey, here I am. You guys fuck."
more.
I think he's on permanent timeout like Sabretooth.
We just buried him in a hole.
Yeah, that's it.
Either way, Scott's all like, "Young Jean, you're okay. Are you okay?
Annie, are you okay, Annie?
Are you okay?" I mean, this is vaguely romantic, so I'm gonna be like 3 inches away from you. I don't know. That's a weird panel. That's a weird like.
It's the one time that Kitty's not there. So.
Yeah, that's a weird like. I gotta not kiss you. You're a child. Like he's got this look of just like hold lips back.
Yeah,
But
because they're
also-
really
yeah.
close. I don't know. That was a weird decision by
Yeah.
the artist. You could have added just like a couple more inches there. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. But you know what's cool? Storm, cat eyes this whole time.
Yeah, I like that.
Had the cat eyes. Good job, Laroka. You're not great at drawing left ass cheeks, but those cat eyes are pretty consistent.
An
the right cheek
appropriate
is
amount of
pretty
knuckles. Yeah, he's like, you know how some people can only draw the eye on one side of the face? He's like that with butt cheeks.
Yo, the left eye is sometimes pretty hard to draw.
And that
If you're right-handed.
I'm so bad at drawing that like I don't even understand that. Like the difference
So you turn
between
the
the
page
two.
upside down. Does that work?
Yeah, it kind of helps. You kind of twist the page around and stuff. Just manipulate it that way.
LaRocca gives a guest artist for the left ass cheek.
'Cause I have seen people who can like draw like hyper realistic, crazy like eyes on one side of the face, and the other one's like I drew it.
Like a doodle.
Yo, that moment where Jean and Scott finally meet each other again after she's resurrected and they're resurrected, and the age of X-Men ends at the end of Rosenberg's, and he grabs her thigh and kind of ass. That's her right ass cheek. Could you imagine how fucked up it'd be if she was on the other side of the page?
Be no ass to grab.
Anyway, so Magneto's like, I'm gonna leave now.
He just like did that backwards walk through the bushes and shit.
Moonwalk. It's like that.
I heard Annie, are you okay?
It's like that clip of The Simpsons where Homer just sinks back into the bushes.
Yeah.
Someone was singing Smooth Criminal, so I'm just gonna slide out of here.
He puts on a fucking hat and tips it forward.
Oh, man. Anyway, you got the X-Men, they have their disagreements of like, fine, well, we still don't like you. And it's like, fine, well, we don't like you still. We're gonna go back to our own schools and our own ex-mutant torture chamber base. I mean, I didn't say that. You don't know where we are. Which, I mean, they do because they show up for the, to let them know that they're about to read the will.
Oh, yeah.
But Beast is like looking at the wreckage, and I know what he says, but you know what he's really thinking is, fuck, I knew I was wrong trusting a zombie.
Yeah.
He'll never admit that, obviously.
Because he says to Storm, I'm just thinking the technology in that building could change the world forever. Maybe I'll stay and watch it burn just to be sure. But also, fuck.
When they leave, he's like running back in there to salvage stuff.
He pulls the zombie out, just starts punching him in the face. I trusted you, motherfucker.
I gave you a jacket.
It was his jacket.
It's just super loose.
He's like, you grew out of it. It didn't fit you anymore. That's beside the point. Just punch him.
You were a different species when you wore that jacket.
It's the thought that counts. And then he gets the last word of the book, where he's like, and then we all go back to our corners, don't we? And wait for the next round.
Yep.
Because X-Men don't get to take a break or play baseball.
Or Beast, you can just, correct the mistake that you've made that you still are like 4 years away from correcting.
You know which X-Men's overdue for a death? Beast.
Yeah, right? He is overdue for a death. When's the last time he died?
You know what's so funny is I remember during this time thinking like, it's so like Scott doesn't get enough credit, and he's like one of the only X-Men who hasn't died. And then
He dies.
he dies bad.
And a pretty shitty death, too, because they're just like, he got sick.
See, I like that death.
Well, first the neck break, and then it's retconned to be he got sick.
Well, yeah, because everything's retconned after, pretty much everybody, besides Wolverine. Wolverine's still dead after Secret Wars, but anybody who died during Secret Wars was brought back.
Mm-hmm. Except him, actually. Because, I mean, he comes back only to still be dead. Like, he's referenced again, but it's just how he dies changed.
Cyclops?
Yeah, Cyclops, I think, is
Yeah.
the only one to die during Secret War and then stay dead when Secret War ends and the universe is restarted.
Yeah, because
But
they
he's
kind of
just dead for a
retconned
different
it.
reason.
Yeah, they retconned it to be like, oh, no, here's are a couple things that happened, and then he died.
Yeah.
He got sick.
And they explain those things that happened, like, way after the fact.
Yeah, that was that future time period, right? Like where they skipped ahead and he died and nobody knows what he did.
Yeah.
They keep on talking about the
Atrocities or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Which turns out, first of all, he literally didn't do anything because it was all Emma. Mm-hmm. And second of all he did was get rid of a cloud
Yeah.
that was killing people.
But that was an important cloud, man. That's the cloud that you're supposed to shine a light in to get a hold of John Batman.
John Batman.
John Batman.
Yeah, he's a fancy suit man.
He puts crime ditters in a cell.
Yeah. He doesn't have a phone, so you got to put a light in a cloud. But see, that cloud, Scott got rid of.
We'll show you that after.
It's really specific.
So anyway, that was X-Men No More Humans. Our social media. You should go check that out.
It should have just been X-Men Psych. More humans.
That's what happens when you your naming strategy is based off Oops All Berries. But our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything is at Mex-Men Podcast.
Yep, and then we got stuff for sale. You should buy it on TeePublic.
Yep.
You pay money, you get stuff.
That's how that works. Isn't that crazy?
It's because this is America. Link for all the social media and the TeePublic is in the show notes. And that's for today.